So we just got the third season premiere of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Several episodes worth turned into a 2-hour movie called The Battle for Mewni. And basically this movie was made to destroy all of the fan headcanons, fan fictions, and fan arts that either tried to give Toffee a love interest or tried to suggest that Star might be turning evil. All of the little ideas that fans pieced together and the assumptions they made and their analysts and their breakdowns and their theories all put to rest when the episode went off in a completely different direction than what fans were expecting. I noticed that a little bit with My Little Pony, but a lot more with Star vs. the Forces of Evil, is that when fans had theories, a lot of times their fan theories and fan fictions and fan art were a lot more interesting than what the series actually gave us. Didn't get that too much with Gravity Falls because fan theories pretty much went in the same direction as what Gravity Falls was predicting, and what Gravity Falls actually gave us was super epic and way more interesting than anything the fans could have conceived on those occasions when Gravity Falls did something that the fans didn't already predict. In the case with Star vs. the Forces of Evil, what we got was a lot of stuff that went off in directions that weren't predicted and also weren't as interesting as the ideas that the fans had hyped up. For example, when you see the tapestry of Moon blasting Toffee's finger off, it looks like he was in some kind of epic battle. But it turned out that the reality of it was that Moon took a single shot, missed hitting Toffee in the heart, and blasted his finger off. When the finger didn't regenerate, the other monsters abandoned Toffee and ran away, realizing that Moon had found a super powerful spell that could prevent Toffee from regenerating, and Toffee was forced to surrender and run away as well. This left the Magic Council shocked at what Moon had just done, and Moon declaring herself the new Queen of Mewni, and everyone else bowing down to her and realizing that they could no longer argue against her and just going along with what she wanted. Not the epic battle that everyone was expecting it to be. Then we had the whole thing about maybe Star's going to end up turning evil and she's going to be on an opposite side of the battle than Marco and they're going to have to fight each other. That also didn't turn out to be so. Star getting advice from Eclipsa and making a deal with Eclipsa and freeing Eclipsa hasn't happened yet. And it turns out that actually it was Moon who made the deal with Eclipsa, and it's Moon who might be the one getting corrupted by the darkness. Toffee having a love interest, that also didn't happen. Toffee has been shipped with pretty much everybody, but turns out that wasn't the case. There was no romantic tension between him and Moon. Most likely nothing between him and Eclipsa, otherwise why would Eclipsa have helped Moon defeat him? And no connection between him and Star either. Eclipsa being evil. While this remains yet to be seen as true or not, the Eclipsa we got in this episode was just a lunatic craving candy bars. And then maybe some evil hidden under all that when she was well fed. She sort of reminds me more of Khan from Star Trek. the original episode Space Siege, where he comes out of hibernation, and after he's awakened after hundreds of years of sleeping, he eventually manages to take over the Enterprise and show his true ambitions. But up until that point, he's just a character from the past who woke up from a long sleep and doesn't appear to immediately be any kind of huge threat. Also, the theory that Eclipsa had her arm cut off in battle and that her arm was chopped off and half of it was detached from her body, that turned out to be just a glove, and fans were actually reading too much into a simple silhouette. We did find out an interesting thing that Moon's mother was killed by Toffee, but there could be a new theory to this, that possibly Moon's mother is still alive and secretly Miss Heinous, though this has yet remains to be seen. Also, Marco's girlfriend, Jackie, was not seen at all in the Season 3 intro episode, and it wasn't seen in the Season 3 new intro. She's completely not there whatsoever. But not killed off, not broken up with, just never appears. So we don't know what's happened to her as of yet, but the update on her and Marco's relationship was not touched upon in this episode. Perhaps one of the best moments of these episodes, other than some of the battling stuff and the dungeon escape sequences and stuff like that, was the part where Buffrod and Moon are having a discussion over a board game, and they're talking about how Buffrod has a board game that villainizes Mewnians and makes monsters out to be heroic, where Moon has a similar board game where the reverse is true, and monsters are the evil ones and Mewnians are the good ones. Interesting to see how history can present one side as a victor and the other side as a loser, and which version of history is correct depends on who the winner and loser is. We got some interesting things with Buffrod and Ludo, and some confusing surprises involving Glossarit. We also saw the Book of Spells destroyed, but it may or may not have destroyed Glossarit. It's really confusing what's happening with his character at this point, but it definitely seems like the Book of Spells is out of play, just like the journals were during Gravity Falls finale Weirdmageddon. There's definitely some interesting stuff happening as we move forward with the series, but for now we definitely seem to have written out Ludo and Toffee to pave the way for the possible return of Eclipsa as what could be Star's new villain. Where the series will go from here, how much of it will be on Mewni and how much will be on Earth, and how much of it will revolve around other characters, we don't know. But we did get both a new intro and a new end credit sequence for Star, and also a new wand and a new super form, a butterfly similar to her Mewbrookie form, but slightly less purple and more illuminated. Anyhow, for now at least, that's all the thoughts I have to say on this one. Not really a review so much as a series of observations. If I ever happen to have more thoughts down the line, I'll record those, but for now that's all that's on my mind, so thank you for watching and good night.